Tonight, an American man released by the Taliban held for more than 2 years. News on his condition. Tonight, a federal judge lashing out at the Justice Department, accusing them of evading his order to provide answers on those deportation flights, sending hundreds to an El Salvador prison. And tonight, the family of one of those prisoners saying he's no criminal. He's a professional soccer player. The major storm moving into the Northeast tonight from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, New York City to Boston. Lee Goldberg standing by to time this out. The alarming close call for children getting onto a school bus. A driver just inches away from hitting the children. And tonight here, Ringo Starr performing at the Grand Ole Opry for the first time. And we're there. The Beatles star goes country.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. And we begin tonight with the breaking news. The new passenger jet scare. Authorities say a Southwest jet at the Orlando airport, engines roaring, beginning to take off, but they were not on the actual runway. Air traffic controllers alerting the pilots, calling it off. Authorities tonight asking, how could this happen? And it all comes amid a new report tonight on that alarming crash landing in Toronto. Investigators now revealing tonight the passenger jet was coming in too fast. They say the pilots were warned just beforehand, an alarm signaling a dangerous descent. The right main landing gear fracturing, the plane flipping upside down, passengers strapped in seatbelts dangling upside down, and then you'll remember escaping out an emergency exit. Tonight, what that new report reveals, but we begin here with this new and alarming incident. A jet beginning to take off in Orlando, the pilots not realizing they were not on the runway. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation, and he leads us off.
Tonight, the FAA investigating after a Southwest flight aborted takeoff, the crew mistaking a taxiway for a runway at Orlando International Airport.
3278, stop was 3278, stop, cancel takeoff clearance. You're on Hotel Taxiway, Southwest 3278.
Southwest 3278, yes sir, we stop.
Officials saying an air traffic controller canceled the takeoff clearance after the aircraft began its takeoff roll on a taxiway, which runs parallel to the runway. There were no other planes involved, Southwest saying it accommodated customers on another aircraft to Albany. And it comes as investigators are giving a first look at what they say happened during that dramatic crash landing in Toronto. The Delta plane seen flipping upside down, smoke billowing from the fuselage. Examiners poring over the images. Now, just a month later, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada saying the plane was going very fast, triggering a so-called sink rate alert, warning the pilots of a dangerous descent. The preliminary report saying part of the right main landing gear fractured and the landing gear folded into the retracted position. The right wing struck the ground and broke off. Fuel spilled out of the wing and ignited. Passengers inside suspended upside down, hanging by their seat belts.
Everything, drop it! Come on!
All 80 people on board evacuating. Everyone survived, but 21 injured. New images showing that right wing blackened on the ground, 215 feet away from the fuselage, and inside, the overhead bins popped open, luggage thrown about the upside-down cabin. And we're learning the first officer who was flying at the time of the crash had been with Endeavour Air, a subsidiary of Delta, for just over a year and had just over 1,400 total flight hours. The FAA requires 1,500 hours for commercial pilots, but because she had a special aviation degree, she was eligible for a certificate allowing her to serve as co-pilot, which is standard practice under FAA guidelines.
The pilot flying was fully qualified but very inexperienced, so the weather was challenging. We knew that there were wind gusts of up to 40 miles an hour, but this frankly should have been handled. There were plenty of other aircraft that were landing just fine that day.
And David, Delta has said that both crew members are qualified and FAA certified. Meanwhile, tonight back in Orlando, the FAA and NTSB are now investigating, David.
Yeah, serious questions there as well. Gio, thank you. We turn now to the other major news this Thursday night. Late today, President Trump taking action to essentially shut down the Department of Education, signing an executive order with young students at his side and his new Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, right there in the room. The president saying the department is, quote, doing us no good. So what does this mean for millions of public school children, for financial aid and the programs helping low-income families? Here's our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, tonight.
Tonight, with a stroke of his pen, President Trump taking a huge step towards dismantling the Department of Education. He's not able to fully eliminate the department without congressional approval, but his executive order will dramatically scale down its function. Nearly half of its staff has already been laid off.
It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states.
Most funding for public schools is already provided by state and local governments. The Department of Education has been chiefly responsible for enforcing civil rights laws to prevent discrimination in schools, overseeing the process for students applying for college financial aid, and overseeing funding to help low-income students and students with disabilities. The president today saying those students will be taken care of by other federal agencies, but he didn't say which ones.
Resources for children with special disabilities and special needs, they're going to be preserved in full and redistributed to various other agencies and departments that will take very good care of them.
But that's no comfort to Katie Rivera of Eagle, Colorado, whose 7-year-old son Martine is hearing impaired and autistic.
I've always been really proud to be an American because of how much we fight for those who can't fight their own battles or need help. And I just feel like we're doing the opposite of that now.
I asked Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, who was there with Trump today, about her concerns. Can you personally assure the parents in your state that none of those programs will be cut?
You know, we absolutely are fundamentally committed to every single child in our state and how it is that we can give them the things they need.
But David, no word tonight on when or how those programs will be moved to different agencies. And there is breaking news here from Washington tonight on a different headline. A federal judge temporarily blocking Elon Musk and his team at the Department of Government Efficiency from accessing Social Security records, which contain the personal and sensitive information of millions of Americans. That federal judge calling their work, quote, a fishing expedition. David.
Rachel Scott live at the White House for us again tonight. Rachel, thank you.